Hello all, it's Gojira 2018. Welcome back to my channel. For this episode of Cinematic Fauna Sound Effects, we're going to discuss the sound effects of Crocodilians. The crocodilian family is one of the oldest species in the animal kingdom, dating as far back as 250 million years ago, long before the dinosaurs. Currently, not including prehistoric species, there are around 28 different types of living crocodilians today. They all live in tropical areas, southeast US, all over Mexico, much of South America, almost all of Africa, and living from South Asia to Australia. On occasion, people ask,
Gator, crocodile, what's the difference?
despite the number of species, there are only 4 distinct members living today: alligators, crocodiles, caimans, and gharials. Each one of them has noticeable differences: design of snouts, display of teeth, head shapes, and so on. With that being said, let's move on and dig into today's video sound chat. There are a number of movies featuring these magnificent but dangerous creatures. Not unlike how the shark was depicted in Jaws, most movies featuring crocodilians are depicted as creature features in which they are wild animals attacking human settlements, or otherwise more infamously known as man-eaters. Now, to begin with, of the 4 types, crocodiles themselves have more screen time than the others. They've been featured in movies such as the entire Lake Placid franchise, as well as Blood Surf, Crocodile, Crocodile 2 Death Swamp, Primeval, Rogue, Croc, Blackwater, Blackwater Abyss, and so on. Of all the species of crocodiles across the entire world, the 2 featured more so in cinema than any others are the Nile crocodile and the saltwater crocodile. With both species topping out at around 20 feet long and weighing over a ton, these 2 are by far the largest and most dangerous species of crocodiles in the world, responsible for the most amount of both fatal and non-fatal attacks on humans. These movies in particular feature the Nile crocodile, with one of them, a 2007 American action-adventure horror film Primeval, being based on a real-life individual crocodile named Gustav. Gustav himself is an unusually large male Nile crocodile living in Africa, said to be responsible for the deaths of between 200 and 300 people. This has granted him a type of mythical status in Africa, and many people along the waterways of Africa fear him. Now, the saltwater crocodile, on the other hand, the largest crocodilian and reptile living today, has been in more movies than the Nile crocodile. Nevertheless, in cinema, these 2 are often depicted as being able to grow far beyond their natural sizes, often reaching 30 feet long in movies. No crocodile has ever been spotted being that large. Speculations of anything, but never full verification. Now, alligators, on the other hand, they've had their share of media attention since 1980, when the American independent horror film Alligator debuted. In truth, there aren't many alligator movies. The only known ones are Alligator, Alligator 2 Mutation, both of which are essentially the same plot, The Flood, The Bayou, Freshwater, and Crawl. 2 of these movies feature people trapped during a hurricane and are surrounded by ravenous alligators. Make no mistake, both animals can be dangerous in their own right. But if you're wondering why crocs get more screen time than gators, it's because in terms of how dangerous they are to humans, crocodiles are by far the more dangerous of the 2. Unfortunately, caimans or gharials haven't as of yet been given any amount of screen time in terms of media. The closest thing they both get is in documentaries. However, there have been motion pictures featuring crocodilians that have a gharial-like appearance. One of them is the 2003 BBC documentary Chased by Dinosaurs, which features a prehistoric crocodilian.
It's not a crocodile, even though it looks like one, but it's a close cousin of the crocodiles. Called Sarcosuchus, it grows much bigger than crocodiles.
The other is the 2023 American fantasy adventure film Peter Pan and Wendy, which featured its own incarnation of the TikTok crocodile, having an appearance similar to that of a gharial as opposed to a true crocodile, due to its relatively thin and elongated snout. Apologies for the movie introductions. Back to the topic. Sound effects wise, crocodilians make a well known, very deep hissing sound effect that is chilling to anyone who hears it. And this particular hissing sound effect, as well as ones like it, have been used in many movies, even ones not featuring crocodilians. In addition to the hiss, crocodilians also produce a deep, rumbling growl sound effect that sounds a little like a lawnmower. But between the hissing and grumbling sound, it appears that the hissing sound effect is more often used in movies. However, on occasion, movie makers will throw in other similar sounding vocals for crocodilians. For instance, they'll throw in sound effects that have been used for dinosaurs, wild cats, and even elephants and camels. An example of this is featured in the recently made musical Lyle Lyle Crocodile. There was one scene where Lyle was producing a roar that was a mixture of an elephant and a camel. In another scene, he was producing a sound effect from a tiger. In Primeval, the giant crocodile Gustav was given traditional crocodile sound effects, including the hiss, along with some other sound effects used for dinosaurs. Aside from crocodilians alone, their vocals have also been used for other animals as well, which includes lizards like the Komodo dragon, some species of dinosaurs, snakes like the anaconda in the movie Anaconda, as well as the predator featured in the 2002 movie Prey. All in all, as I have said, you can use the sound effects of modern animals for anything. This includes crocodilians. Of course, you can use them for the animals themselves, but you can also use them for other reptiles like lizards and snakes, as well as some species of dinosaurs. You can use them for a dragon or extraterrestrials like the alien and predator. Well, that concludes this episode, boys and girls. Keep visiting my channel and subscribe for more. Stay tuned for more episodes to come. Until next time.